big rock. One day a ship from Europe sailed into their village. The sailors came intending to trade pots and pans for the Indians' furs. But sadly, they kidnapped an Indian named Squanto and sold him as a slave. But Squanto was not alone, for God was watching over him and had a very special plan for him. Squanto lived in England and Spain for several years. Along the way, he learned how to speak English, and eventually, he even managed to return home to his village by the big rock. But when he got there, he saw that the village was empty. All the Pawtuckets, every member of his family and all his friends, had died from the terrible plague called smallpox. Back in Europe, there were people who wanted to worship God in their own way. King James of England did not like that. Some of the people left England and lived in Holland for a while. Others stayed and worshipped secretly on ships in the harbor. Finally, they decided to sail across the big ocean to the New World. Because they traveled around so much, these people were called pilgrims. On September 6, 1620, a small wooden ship called the Mayflower prepared to leave Plymouth, England, and sail across the Atlantic Ocean to the new land. Sailing on the Mayflower was anything but comfortable for its 102 passengers and 30 sailors. Most of the passengers lived and stayed below the deck, where there wasn't much room to move. The ceiling was less than 5 feet tall, and there was little light because it was too dangerous to use candles. Not only did the pilgrims have to battle seasickness, but also some terrifying storms. After 66 days of hardship on the ocean, the pilgrims had finally reached the new land. Unfortunately, it was winter, The Pilgrims had to remain on the Mayflower for another 2 months, while the men scouted the land and began to build houses. That first winter was terrible for the Pilgrims. They did not have the proper clothing or shelter, and they did not have enough food. Many